All right. Good morning, and thank you for being here today at the Metro Green Line's Blake Road Station. I am Deb Barber. I have the pleasure of serving as the interim chair of the Metropolitan Council. On behalf of my fellow council members, some of who are here today, I would like to express our gratitude for joining us on this historic day. The Metropolitan Council is a policy-making board that guides the strategic growth of the metropolitan area. We partner with cities, townships, and counties, and other government entities, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and others to realize a vision of dynamic, growing, and vibrant communities. Today marks a major milestone for our regional transportation system. After years of planning, community engagement, and construction, I am proud to announce that we've completed the first week of testing of rail vehicles on the Metro Green Line extension. This is more than just a milestone. It is a promise being kept to the communities we serve and a bold step towards the future we are building together. We are pleased to be here in Hopkins for this occasion at this lovely spot, home to the Summer Raspberry Festival. We are pleased to have Hopkins Mayor Patrick Hanlon with us, so please join me in welcoming Mayor Hanlon.
Thank you so much, and welcome to Hopkins. We are one happy story among many that are going on along the light rail line right now. This city was born a bustling city on a train line. In fact, I'd like to remind folks that the city Hopkins was actually named after a passenger train stop. And so we are so excited to be returning to that bustling city on a train line. Our whole city was built around that structure of a train. You're surrounded today by a community that is over 50% Black, Indigenous, and people of color, many living in income situations. This line is driving growth and opportunity and a chance for those folks to connect to what we like to call the greater Hopkins area. And we are just one story among many along this line. Our city is so grateful for the partnership of our fellow cities who are here today. See St. Louis Park, Minnetonka, Eden Prairie, all the other cities along the line, major county investment, state, federal agencies, engineers, contractors, small businesses, all working together with humility in an effort to serve the people along this line, those that are living in those apartments right now. In fact, I was just talking to my dad on my way down here, and we had listening sessions in my family's restaurant over 30 years ago. So there are people not only that are here today, but folks that go way back that made this happen today. And because of the vision, the hard work, the courage of those people here today, this city is returning to a bustling city along a train line that is full of opportunity. And that is because of all of you here today. And as one mayor along this line, I want to say thank you to everyone here for making this opportunity happen for the people that are living in this community, in this region, and in this state. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mayor Hanlon, for hosting us in your beautiful city. The impact of this project has already been extraordinary, as I'm sure you can tell if you look around. Even before the first passenger boards a train, we have witnessed unprecedented economic investment along the Green Line Extension corridor. Over the past several years, we have seen more than $3 billion in private investment from Eden Prairie to Minneapolis. This is the power of transit investments. When we invest in public transportation, we are not just moving people, we are stimulating economic growth, revitalizing neighborhoods, and creating wealth and opportunity that will benefit our communities for decades to come. This economic growth is not by chance. It is the result of strategic community planning, public investment, and the confidence that businesses and residents have in the future. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the work of two of our very big advocates, Minnesota Senators Tina Smith and Senator Amy Klobuchar. I know they are disappointed they couldn't be here today, but understand they are working hard for us in D.C. We do have Jack Smith here from the Senator Smith's office and Josh Ortiz from Senator Klobuchar's office, so thank you for joining us today as well. It is my pleasure now to welcome and invite Hennepin County Commissioner Marion Green to join us and share a few words. We are very thankful for our great partnership that we have and very excited to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Hanlon, for the warm welcome to the Hopkins and surrounding areas. I appreciated that. And thank you, Interim Chair Deb Barber, for your welcome as well. And to both of you and everybody who has been named as amazing partners on this project. Today, is a beautiful day. And I'm, of course, referring to the weather, but I'm also referring to what we are capstoning today, what we're celebrating today, the accomplishments. Words really can't describe how excited I am to be here and to be at this moment on this project, especially for Hennepin County. I so appreciated the allusion to community feedback sessions happening in the 90s, because I'd like to acknowledge the vision of county commissioners generations before me. And I think back to John Darris and his conversations in the 90s, and then telling me about, the vision was alive then, and we've nurtured the flame, and here we are today. I really want to thank also the Met Council and the Metro Transit for their incredible partnership. This is difficult work. Projects like these are big and complicated, and there's tons of pre-work, tons of post-work, and we have been in the trenches literally and figuratively together, and I'm so grateful for the partnerships that have gotten us here. I also want to thank our federal partners, both Minnesota federal partners and also the Federal Transit Administration, for their commitment and their understanding of the vision that we wanted to achieve. And the state of Minnesota has also been an incredible partner, both at the legislature and the Department of Transportation. And every resident and business along this route who have committed to this, to living near this, who have put in their 2 cents on how we should build this to best serve them for their today and their future. And of course, to the workers who have built, who with their hands have put together the bricks and mortar of this incredible project. Great regions have great transit. And this vision of Hennepin counties to have a multimodal system across the Twin Cities from Hopkins to the other cities is part of what we're seeing come to fruition today. And I'm so excited about it. Transit is one of the most important investments that we can make to help people get to and from work, play, religious celebrations, art events, everything. The network of a community and a region is defined by the network of transit. New development that follows light rail is undeniable. And I was talking with somebody the other day in a different part of the region about a bus line that used to come on a certain road. You can't do that with light rail. Light rail cannot be moved to a different track. And that means a commitment of dollars and people that is nothing like a bus line. I want to mention almost $4 billion that's already been invested near Green Line extension stations, more than 8,500 housing units, many of which are affordable housing units, near the light rail stops. The land near the metro has a different value proposition because of the light rail near it. There's just such a multi-layered impact of building a light rail line and what it does along the line and then for the rest of our community. Light rail is, as I've alluded to, an investment in our people, our businesses, and our shared future. It's also about that connection piece. So I've talked about sort of what's happening at each station, but it's also about connecting the 100,000 residents to 165,000 jobs that are between Eden Prairie and St. Paul. So it's about moving people from here to there to access the amazing resources of our region. And it's about also accessing healthcare, the world-class hospitals and healthcare amenities that we have here in the Twin Cities. So it's better access to just all of these things. I also want to mention the cost of driving. So driving is a financial burden on every one of our families. I, a couple years ago, went without a car to see if I could get around entirely on transit as a county commissioner. And I did successfully. The thing that struck me, I was motivated for environmental reasons, and I'll get to those. But the thing that struck me was how much money my spouse and I saved. Like the insurance, the car maintenance, the car itself, parking, etc. I had forgotten, because of the expectation that we all have a car, the burden that expectation places on every single person and family here in our region, or honestly in our country. And so investments like this are helping families get out of that additional burden and focus their money on education, on things that enliven their family, the arts, things that are more investments in the community, because they're not having to invest in this single requirement, a car. I also want to mention the greenhouse gas emission impact, of course. The single biggest source of greenhouse gas pollution in our region and anywhere in the United States is cars. We've got to stop our dependence on cars. And so light rail is another part of helping everybody get onto transit, bringing transit to the neighborhood. You know, the Met Council has worked very hard to connect with this system with the bus system and so on. So it's all a part of the big network. I hope that in my remarks, I've been able to convey what a monumental moment this is. My political career is not as long as many political careers around, but I will say that my entire political career, the building of this project has been like a carrot on the end of the stick, honestly, something that we knew we wanted as a region and as a state. And here we are putting cars on the tracks, and it's tremendous to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Green. We really appreciate Hennepin County's strong partnership for the Green Line extension over many years and making today a reality. I really do mean that. We could not do that without this partnership. And also, as I've transitioned into my new role as interim chair, I appreciate your friendship as well. So thank you so much. In the coming weeks and months, our testing program will continue. Our operators will log thousands of miles, ensuring that every system functions flawlessly. Our engineers will fine-tune every aspect of service. Our safety teams will verify that we meet every standard. To share more about the importance of safety during this project phase, I would like to introduce Metro Transit General Manager Leslie Canderas.
All right, good morning. As Chair Barber said, my name is Leslie Canderas. I'm the General Manager at Metro Transit. And at Metro Transit, this important milestone. Earlier this month, we began running test trains on the Green Line extension line from Target Field out to Southwest Station. This means that trains are moving on tracks for the first time on the 14.5-mile alignment. Over the last week, we have moved light rail vehicles out to Eden Prairie as we prepare for months of test runs. These tests and other tests, really thousands in all, are necessary to ensure the system meets design and performance requirements. We will continue this important testing work throughout 2026 as we prepare for the start of passenger service in 2027. One message that I want to share today and really emphasize today is the importance of being safe around trains and railroad tracks. And the is just one example of how we are getting the message out to remind people to be safe around trains now that trains are moving on the tracks. While these test trains are moving on the corridor, it's very important that people in communities served by the line are staying aware and practicing safe behavior. For example, safe behavior means never trying to beat a train at a crossing. Safe behavior means that if you see flashing lights or hear the bells as you approach tracks, stop. Walk, bike, or play on railroad tracks. And safe behavior means knowing that crossing needs to happen only at marked crossing. That's the only safe place to cross. So just as we conclude and as we mark this important milestone today, I want to also add my thanks to all the elected leaders, past and present, council members, past and present, community leaders over years who have supported and provided critical feedback to shape this project. All of this support is what's leading up to us being at this key milestone today. And I also want to thank and recognize Metro Transit staff. At Metro Transit, we have the honor of leading the project to build this line, as well as the ongoing responsibility to operate and maintain the line. Nearly every part of Metro Transit as an agency is involved or is supporting this work. I especially today want to recognize our Green Line Extension Project Office, the Safety Department, Metro Transit Police Department, and teams across our rail division. At Metro Transit, we know that the Green Line extension is not only a transit line that will strengthen our transit system, it's a generational investment that will strengthen the communities we serve for many years to come. Thank you. And I'll hand it back to Chair Barber.
Thank you, Leslie. We still appreciate your leadership as we continue to connect the region. At the Met Council, we envision a future where every major employment center, educational institution, medical facility, and residential community is connected by fast, reliable, sustainable public transit. I want to close by saying the work goes on to meet the evolving needs of current and future generations. The Green Line extension is not the finish line. It is a crucial building block in a much larger vision, the creation of an integrated transit system serving the needs of our entire region for generations to come. We want to thank the people, businesses, and leaders of Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, Hopkins, St. Louis Park, and Minneapolis for their patience during construction and being steadfast supporters of this connected vision. We also want to thank our federal, state, county, and city partners whose funding and support made this day possible. We really want to thank the project office, our construction workers, engineers, planners, transit professionals who have worked tirelessly to bring this project to fruition. The future of transportation in our region is bright. The future is connected. The future is sustainable, and the future is arriving on these tracks. Thank you so much for coming today, and we'll see you on the train. And as the sign says, get ready to ride in 2027. Thank you. The investment in the project has been critical. It has, as you mentioned, the price has gone up. We're at $2.86 billion. We don't expect that number to change, but the investment in the network and the investment along the line is really showing that these projects can be transformational, and it's important to have a fully connected transportation system with multiple different types of modes, and this is one of those key modes.
Thank you, and thank you for asking that great question. I just want to second everything that Chair Barber said, and maybe add that every dollar that has been spent has been well scrutinized, and so I feel confident in how this project has been executed. So I have full confidence in that, and I also. As I think about transit and light rail, I would also challenge us to hold road and bridge projects to the same very high standard that we hold transit projects to as we consider those costs. Thank you.
Yep. It does seem like a long time, but it is in line with federal standards. It's in line with all of the general practices that you have. There's over 4,000 tests that have to occur to have us show that it's safe, it's working the way it's supposed to, meets all the standards, and that's why it takes a full year to actually get all the testing done. Right now, we're going to stick with get ready to ride in 2027. Not yet, but. Sure. I mean, we're approaching the testing from a very comprehensive perspective. As you can see, there's all the electrical systems, the tracks, the trains themselves, how things move, and that's why there's 4,000 tests that have to happen to make sure that all of that works together seamlessly before we have people riding on the train. I can tell them that we all wish we could have gotten to this point faster. However, we have to recognize how important today is that we did make it to this point. We did have to reevaluate and replan as we went through this process, but we feel like we have had now a very successful project, and we're very confident in the outcome.
What are the current projections when this does start running in 27 on the passengers? You've done the math on that. What do you expect?
Sure. The last numbers that we had were the 34,000 riders a day. We still know that there are lingering impacts from COVID and the impacts on ridership, but we are seeing increased ridership across all modes, and we expect that to be reflected in this one as well. I think I have to get back to you on that. We have taken a very thorough look at our processes and how we do these big projects, and it'll apply to whether it's an arterial BRT or an LRT project. We have a transitway advancement process now where things are scrutinized in a different way along the process before the council advances them, and then it's also working in, I think, in a different way with partnership with our county partners to make sure we vet these things earlier and sooner so that we don't end up where we ended up with this project. You have any addition?
Great question. I think the Blue Line Extension project, as it's coming together, really reflects learnings that came from this project, and the way that together our organizations are approaching even the design of the contract before it goes out to bid, and so on, really reflects learnings from this project. So there are myriad ways that we're really dialing it up on the Blue Line, fine-tuning, I should say, on the Blue Line Extension.
So we're mostly through civil construction, and I'm going to kind of look to our project office, and we're getting further along with our systems, which is all the electrical and all of that piece of things. So we expect most of it to be done by the end of 2026. Yes, he's nodding. So yes, so we're in good shape. So there is just some more work around the tunnel area that we're continuing to finish up, and that's part of why everything's moved out to the west side here, so we can start the testing here. So when that part's ready, we can go very quickly.
One more question from me, I promise. Hopkins and nearby cities have lived with this construction for years. Could you talk a little bit about the impact and what will change once it starts running?
Well, everyone will be happy to have the construction done. Anyone who's tried to get around the Twin Cities this summer knows that construction has impacts on people. And so everyone will be happy to have that. It will take a little time to get used to trains moving through the system. And to General Manager Kandaris's point of safety and being aware of trains and being aware of the crossings. And so it's being emphasizing that message of safety, to be aware where the trains are moving, how to behave around the trains. But we just hope that people come out and ride and it becomes part of their daily life is really our goal.
I was talking to El Tinkenberg, who's directed in the original Blue Line, North Star, and he said, in his estimation, that the execution of the Green Line extension has really killed a lot of political capital on that capital part. Do you think that's true? And do you think there's a future here for light rail in terms of the buy-in we need from the feds from the state?
That's a great question. I mean, it's something that was challenging for all of us. So, while I'm new to council in this role, I've been on council throughout this time of this project, and it was challenging. And I think the key thing that we have to do is sort of to what Commissioner Green was referencing is don't be subtle and don't be afraid to look back of what could we have done different, but then do it differently. And we have to be very clear about that as we look at other big projects into the future. We're still in the process of designing that, and it's moving, at this point, it is moving ahead as an LRT project, and then we'll just see, there's some critical milestones up in the next few months, and we'll see where we go from there.
And there's time for one more question. I think we can expect the same amount of crime that's happening on the other rails. Are you guys going to be hiring more law enforcement to be covering this line on a full-time basis?
Yes, we are. As many of you have heard, and we have a safety and security action plan, which has multi-layers of security options, including police officers, NCSOs, and our trip agents. And right now, even as we know the opening date isn't until 2027, we are already in the process of staffing up for operators, trip agents, CSOs, police, because we want to have everybody in place so that we can launch successfully in 2027. So all of that is really actively underway. And I think if we look at what we've been doing with the Safety and Security Action Plan, we're having very positive impacts on the system. The mode I ride the most is the light rail, and I've noticed a very profound difference. I've mentioned to General Manager Kandaris, I got my fare checked twice last week, which I think is fantastic, and just shows that, you know, some of that, having that multi-layered security out in the system really is making a big difference.
One quick question.
Yeah.
I know obviously from the same car. They're both standard transfer Target Field, or can I ride the same car from Eden Prairie all the way to Target Field?
You want to? Yeah, you can ride the same car all the way through. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.